You are Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. Part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. You are Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. Part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. You are Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. Part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. You are Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. Part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
There we go. All right. Wow. We're a little bit late and discombobulated and a little bit hot. And I'm not talking about looks. I'm talking about the level. I don't know what's going on, but here we are, Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. My name's Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. Must be something in the air or the moon or something tonight. Nothing was working, but we got it going, and we're here. A little bit shaky, not sure, but we're here, and that's the important thing, right? Day in and day out, you every day. There's no Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name's Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. Not much you can say about this game tonight. Max Meyer pounded again. The Marlins commit 4 errors. It's a comedy of errors. Meyer's throwing the ball in the outfield. They're throwing the ball away at the plate. It just was a nightmare of a game tonight for Miami. And that's why the headline is what it is. It says Cellar Dwellers, Seller. Yeah, it is a play on words. Yeah, it is a direct shot at the Miami Marlins organization. Yeah, it is shots fired. Move if you're not going to put a good team on the field. Go somewhere else and do it to them. Stop it. It's been way too long already in South Florida. Enough is enough already. 4 errors. The pitcher who is the number 3 pick in the draft, who clearly was not worthy of that spot because he gives up at least 1, if not more, home runs every time he pitches. He's given up a home run in 10 of 12 starts. 12 this year. He's breaking his own neck every time he pitches, Max Meyer. And I have to be careful here, I know, because I know these are people, and they're doing the best they can. They're playing as hard as they can, and it's fun to watch this team a lot of times, and I don't want to take shots at the players. It's not fair of me to do that. The executives who put them in this position, who traded away the whole entire team seemingly. I went through the opening day lineup yesterday. We talked about it, right? We talked about it yesterday. I went through the opening day lineup player by player. Barely anybody left, man. 4 errors, a season high. Max Meyer, another home run allowed. Roderick Munoz sent down after another embarrassing start last night. Not a big league pitcher. Again, not his fault, but we shouldn't have to be subjected to this over and over, time and time again, watching people hit 200 and watching pitchers get their literally whiplash every single game. So you see glimpses, you see flashes. They bring back prospects, and then they get to the point where they're good and they're going to make a lot of money, and they trade them away. They trade them away for more prospects to put a borderline major league team on the field, borderline major league baseball team on the field. That's what they do. It's not the players' faults. I get in trouble with this. I've covered the UFC for 10 years. People told me CM Punk was keeping him out of the UFC because he was this close to getting in. I'm like, dude, you couldn't sell a cup of water to a person who was on fire. And you're going to tell me you deserve a spot over CM Punk? These kids don't belong in the big leagues. It's not my fault for saying it. They shouldn't be there. Either they're not ready or they're not good enough. Not my fault. There's a clear system in place. And what we're seeing here in many cases is not Major League Baseball. It's not Major League Baseball. What happened on that field tonight in Colorado was an absolute embarrassment. 8-2 was the score. Could have been 108-2 the way that they played tonight. They're alone in the basement. They deserve to be in the basement. The Marlins should be banished forever. Banished. How much more can they get away with? How much more can they do? How many more trades can they make of anybody who's a major league caliber talent? Luis Arise and Chisholm and DLC and Josh Bell, borderline. He's a 200 hitter. I don't know what anybody sees in him. But, look, it is what it is. I'm not going to get on here like some grumpy old man and just complain. But tonight's game was an embarrassment. I want to thank you for being here and making Locked On Marlins Postcast your first listen every day. We're free, available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And tonight's episode is brought to you by Game Time. We're not going to let the Marlins get us down tonight, or the management, or the semblance of a major league team, or anything like that, because Game Time's amazing, and we can download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It is game time. That is right. That is right. It is Game Time, and what an app Game Time is. Talking about going to sporting events, going to getting your tickets, and you can go to another city and watch another team play the Marlins and go take in the attractions of that city. You know what I'm saying? And still be a loyal fan to your team. And you shouldn't be a loyal fan to an organization that hasn't given you anything to be loyal to. Not the players, the organization, no matter who the owner's been. Easy for me in a glass house. I'm not in a glass house, throwing stones. But I'll tell you this, they've never been able to pull it off. It's the number one city in America. They've never been able to pull baseball. Think about this. It is Central America and South America, where they supposedly love baseball so much. The Marlins have never been able to grab that fan base. How? Why? What is the story here? It's the Marlins. It's the owners they've had. It's the way they've done things. Look what Steve Ballmer's done in LA with the Clippers, building his own arena. You know what I mean? Huizenga spent a lot of money a couple times. The fans didn't come out. He expected to spend a lot of money, put a winner on the field, and the fans were going to come sit in a bowl of soup for 3 hours every night, outdoors in a football stadium to watch a baseball team. And guess what happened? Nothing. I'll go through every name, but I won't, because it's embarrassing and it's painful to think about all the players: Miguel Cabrera, Gary Sheffield, Jeff Conine, twice. His son Griffin's here now. As soon as he gets good, they'll trade him too. It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. My name is Jim Greaseover. Call me Grease. This is Locked On Marlins Postcast. Can't wait until this weekend. M-I-A-M-I. Fight. Oh, the Gators are going down, right? This weekend, Canes going to the Swamp in Gainesville, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, and they are going to feast on Gator meat. Canes Gators Saturday, and it will be here. Your first Locked On Canes postcast of the season. Can't wait to host that show. Locked On Dolphins postcast as well, and it is just phenomenal, man. It is one of those things that you can't get enough of. Football season is here. Football season's here. We're literally locked on with Kyle, with Alex, and myself. Locked On Dolphins, Locked On Canes, and a Locked On Canes and Dolphins postcast. We still do the Marlins, and we got Pete doing Locked On Marlins, but you got some bright spots, and I'm hard on the organization tonight. I'm hard on Max Meyer because you can't be giving up a home run every time you pitch. I mean, dog, every time you pitch, you're getting up a home run. And I understand, look, he's number 3 pick in the draft. This is fair criticism. They need him to be an elite starter at that level with the number 2 pick. If he had been any better after being that number 3 pick, if he had been any better at this point and he wasn't on the restrictions, he'd have probably been traded by now too, keeping it 100 with you. And that's the way the organization does business. It's the way they feel they can stay in business. I don't agree with it. I don't ever agree with a scarcity mindset or anything associated with it, but it's not my money. It's not my team. And the cool part about it, I want to say this, when you have the prospects playing their hardest, you know what I mean? Someone like Tinoco's been great. Berger's been in spurts, and he's not a prospect, but you've seen Bruhan, and you've seen Dane Myers briefly, and you've seen, some really good players coming through in the prospects, like really good young players. Cabrera's been good at times, right? Weathers has been good at times. Conine's looking good, right? Edwards, who got hurt the other day, Xavier Edwards. Some of these things are really great because you get to see these kids. It is not their fault. And some of them are balling out and taking 100% advantage of it. And I love them and I respect them for it. You're watching Locked On Marlins Postcast. My name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. Still to come. Comedy of errors, man. We haven't even talked about this game yet. This performance by the Marlins is not even worth talking about. We should not be doing a Locked On Marlins Postcast tonight on this game because this game was that bad. I'm going to tell you what happened. I know we're living in misery. What can I say? We got no choice. It's a post-game show. Locked On Marlins Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. We're rolling on in just a sec. As soon as I tell you about my friends at eBay Motors, passion, drive, patience. No, I'm not talking about what it takes to be a sports fan, but it is the formula for winning championships. It's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance: superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time, or your money back. They're going to put it right back in your pocket. How do you like that? Well, maybe not in your pocket. They don't do that anymore. It's electronic. It goes through the invisible air and just ends up back in your bank account. But you know what I'm saying. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash, not even imaginary invisible cash that's floating through the air, through phones, into your bank account. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, available only to U.S. customers. And you know what's coming next. You can kind of see it, right? You got a little hint there. That's kind of like when someone has a name tag on and you don't. You're like, hey, George. And they're like, hey, how are you? And they don't ask your name and you feel this tall. I used to, until I realized I don't care what they think. But I do care that Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. I'm not going to count them. You just have to trust me. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, Prize Picks is just you against the numbers. It's pretty simple, right? Numbers can't be that bad, can they? It's easy to beat the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. They just roll right in, literally, through the imaginary air into your phones and your bank account. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. Why? Because you can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Just 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. You can turn $10 into a G. How about a G? How about a brick? How about a stack? How about a band? Whatever you call it, it's a Jeezel. It's a G. It's a stick. It's a stack. It's a bandit. Whatever it is yours. Sign up today. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. 2 Canes this Saturday against the Gators. Dolphins open it up next week. And you have got a lot of opportunities. Like, for example, if you think Tyreek Hill will get more than 90.5 yards in week 1 against the Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence with Tua, with all that money, with a 4x100 team, you can bet that. You know what I'm saying? And that can be one of your picks on Prize Picks. There you go. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB. Get $50 instantly when you play 5. That's right. You're not hearing me wrong. 10x. When you play 5, you get 50. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks. $50 instantly. We play 5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed by Prize Picks. Run your game. I really like doing Prize Picks commercials. It's a lot of fun. Thank you for making Locked On Marlins Postcast. Thank you so much for bearing with us. We had some technical difficulties tonight and this week. It's been a tough one, but we appreciate you being here every day and making us your first listen, your first watch. Been a long year, tough season, right? But for your second listen, second watch, I want you to check out the Locked On MLB podcast. Your host, Paul Sullivan, a.k.a. Sully. He's here to provide national expertise daily with his trademark humor, make you laugh too. Going to help you get ready for the playoffs in MLB here in the dog days of summer, and they are the dog days. Oh, boy, they're the dog days. Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully. The Marlins aren't, but you can. He has it all covered every single day on Locked On MLB. The Marlins stink. They're the worst team in the National League. More on that in a minute. Locked On MLB is available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And hopefully they'll be better next year. What did I just do? I think I just closed something I needed that was open, and I don't know what it was. No, I didn't. Okay, there you go. So we're going to go through what happened in this game tonight. It was an abomination. It was an S show, if you know what I'm saying. And it just was one of those nights that you just forget about it right away. No one on the team. And if I were Skip Schumacher after the game, I would have gone in that clubhouse. And in baseball, they still call it a clubhouse, not a locker room, whatever. It's a clubhouse. Okay. But if I were Skip, I would have gone in there right after that horrible abomination of a game. And I would have said, if I see, and I have people out all over this city, and Denver only has a few places anyway. They got all the rooftops in that one street. You know what I'm talking about, right? So if I see any or hear of any of you guys at any bar or any restaurant, any place but your hotel room tonight, you're not playing. You're suspended. You're not paid. Because you should not be going out. You shouldn't show your face anywhere after a game like tonight. Kyle Freeland should. He was great for the Rockies. 6 innings he goes, an 800th career strikeout tonight. Aaron Schunk, first major league home run, ripped it as the Rockies took advantage of not one, not two, not three, but 4 Miami Marlins errors to win 8-2. Nolan Jones, couple RBI singles. Drew Romo, 2 hits and RBI. Ezequiel Tovar still hot for the Rockies. 2-run double in the bottom of the 8th. Good job by him. He's on fire right now. Derek Hill, bright spot for Miami. He's been playing great. Ball so hard. Hit a home run tonight. Plays great defense. Leader on the team. But the Marlins are 6-15 in their last 21 games. Cellar dwellers. Play on words. Cellar, basement, worst team in the National League. Cellar, S-E-L-L. They traded everyone. Cellar dwellers. They sold everyone so they can dwell in the basement, and that's where they belong, and that's where they are. That's where the front office put them. That's what they did to their players, what they did to the manager who took them to the playoffs last year. And for whatever reason, financially, they just don't have enough money to do it, and they shouldn't be allowed to own a team. If you can't fund it, and you can't get the fans in, and you can't make money with your own business, that's not Major League Baseball's fault. That's not the players' fault. It's not the fans' fault. People should not be made to suffer anymore with this kind of a product. It has to be better. I demand on your behalf, Marlins fans, that it be better, that Major League Baseball step in and do something like they have with all the rules in the game. Do something to prevent these teams from tanking, from trading all their players, from claiming to be a major league franchise, putting a crap product on the field, having nobody in the stands to watch it because they don't deserve anybody to be there, having nobody around the city wearing their merch because they don't deserve to have anybody around the city wearing their merch, taking a playoff team and decimating it every single time a year later. There, I'm done. Freeland, who's 4-6 for the Rockies, 2 runs on 6 hits in the thin air of Colorado against the AAA team of the Marlins. Struck out 5 with a walk. 200th career appearance, right? And it's just one of those nights, right? 800th strikeout of his career, 4th in franchise history, 59th career win, 5th most in career history. Schunk, first pitch of, and if you want to hit a home run off someone, it's going to be Max Meyer, 429 feet, 10 of his 12 starts, he's given up at least 1. He has given up a grip of home runs this year. And those numbers might be off a smidge. I hope not, because I don't want to say that it's too many, because I don't want to say that he's given up, home runs in 10 of 12 starts when it's actually only 9 or anything like that. You know what I mean? I want him to get credit for exactly what he's done and only what he's done. But the Marlins were throwing the ball all over the field tonight. Meyer went 5 innings. He's 3-4 on the year. Hopefully he'll grow and be better next year. You see glimpses from him. I like Meyer. There's a lot of pressure on him right now. They put the restrictions on him. I honestly, I'm not blaming any of the players for anything. Let's just put that out there. Some of them don't belong in the big leagues. It's not my fault for saying it. It's not their fault they don't belong in the big leagues. It just is what it is. There's a level. And if you're above it, you belong. If you're not, you don't. I'm not saying who does or who doesn't by name. I'm not going there. I'm just saying you can tell. And the ones who don't belong have been optioned on out of here. And it didn't take long for Tim Anderson. It didn't take long. I mean, Nick Gordon eventually went. Bell was traded. They weren't tearing it up anyway. But they were all parts of the trades from, you know what I'm saying, last year, the year before. Okay. Therapy session concluded because I'm just finishing it up right now with Christian Pache. Mishandling. I mean, it was a single to center. He mishandles the ball. Romo advances to second, and then Meyer throws the ball away on a pickoff throw. It's like it was like P.T. Barnum was out there. Poor Skip Schumacher. I felt for him tonight. It was just one of those games. One of them days. Don't take it personal. So that's what it was. That was the game tonight. A comedy of errors. Roddery Munoz lasted a career low 1 1/3 innings yesterday in a 9-8 win for the Marlins. They had to score 100 runs to win his starts anyway. He was sent back to AAA Jacksonville. Jonathan Bermudez as well. Xavier Curry, Austin Kitchen recalled from Jacksonville to fill the vacancies. Forrest Wall was waived. The outfielder, Baltimore claimed him. He'll probably go there and tear it up. But grasping at straws, man. Just bringing up whoever they can. Maybe he's a major leaguer. 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 I mean, come on. Some of them are, though. Some of them are. And you got to enjoy them while they're here. And maybe they'll catch lightning in a bottle like they did last year. Say it all the time. One team can win it all. 2 teams make the World Series. Few teams make the playoffs, but you can see good, exciting baseball every day. The 9-8 game was great. This was an egg. You're going to get these stinkers with a team like this. Tomorrow you get Beozo. He's been really good. His 8th start in the series finale. The Marlins have already locked up the season series. Can they pull off and salvage the split? We'll tell you about the starters. Bradley Blaylock for the Rockies. On the other side, he just won his first career game against the Yankees last time out. I should say picked up his first career win. It was career. Picked up his first career win against the Yankees. We'll talk about that one and give you the odds and everything else as they get set to close out the battle of the basement in Denver, Colorado, with the Marlins trying to salvage a split against the team that has now put them firmly and pressed them down into the ground, the Colorado Rockies. I'm Jim Greasehover. Call me Grease. Wrapping it up on the other side. Locked On Marlins Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. And I need some Liquid IV, man. Life's been hard lately. The dog days of summer, life has been really hard on me, and it's hot, and you just are. I'm doing it right now. I am not hydrated. I can tell you right now, you see the black spots on the right. You cannot stay hydrated in the summer. Why am I not hydrated? Because I didn't take my Liquid IV today, because I'm a dummy. That's why I'm not hydrated correctly, and you should not be a dummy like me and not take your Liquid IV, because when you take it every day, you tear, pour, live more. Tear, pour, live more. That's the motto, and that's what I live by. You tear, pour, live more. 1 stick, 16 ounces of water. Hydrates better than water alone. And I've just been drinking water, which is why it's not doing what Liquid IV could do for me, right? How's that for a commercial? When you're taking in America's pastime, don't forget to hydrate with Liquid IV's popsicle firecracker flavor, a surefire summer hit, and it definitely tastes better than water. Get hydrated with electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients from the #1 powdered hydration brand in America, because baseball and summer go together like Liquid IV and indulgent hydration. I'm going to cry because I forgot to take it today, all right? I literally did, and I'm telling you right now, I'm completely dehydrated. This is not a fake spot. This is 100% real. Don't fall victim to the same thing I have fallen victim to here. You can blast off with the iconic summer flavor. I'm telling you right now, popsicle firecracker. It is citrus-fueled lemon, lime, tart cherry, raspberry flavor. If you don't like that, you can go to acai berry, lemon lime, pina colada. They have them all on their website. Tear, pour, live more. Tear, pour, live more. Electrolytes, vitamins, nutrients, gluten-free, vegan, non-GMO, dairy-free, soy-free, everything in the world. 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink. And you wonder why I'm so famishly thirsty today? Tear, pour, live more. Do what I didn't do. I do it every other day. You don't see me like this every other day. Tear, pour, live more. No more thirsty summers when you indulge. And it is an indulgent. It is an indulgence. Indulgent hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MLB at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MLB at liquidiv.com on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. You know what I'm about to talk about here, don't you? You know what time is it? What time is it? Game time. It is game time. Game time has a new feature. I'm so excited to talk to you about this. It's a new feature called Game Time Picks. It makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks features so many things. It adds to the experience of game time. It filters out the fluff is the main thing to show you only incredible deals. That's why I'm grabbing the mic, like only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. It can get monotonous after a while. Game Time Picks, they pick it for you. AI is amazing, is it not? Right? Unbelievable. Game Time Picks makes it easier to save on sports, concerts, comedy, theater. You get the all-in pricing still. It shows you the total up front, no surprise fees at checkout. You get the seat views. You get the panoramic view from your seats right there in the app before you buy. And you can buy for concerts, sports, comedy, theater, all those on Game Time, the lowest price guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you not even 100% of the difference, 110%. They're going to give you an extra 10%, not just all your money back, 110% of the difference in the cost of the price of the tickets. How about that? Nobody does that. Game Time does. Game Time ticket coverage is awesome too. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry from Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. What time is it? Game time on the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you so much for making Locked On Marlins Postcast your first listen of the day. We're free, available wherever you get your podcasts: Spotify, Apple Music, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean. Plus here on YouTube, Locked On Sports Miami, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day for your second listen. We're your first one. Watch, listen, whatever. You want to check out Locked On MLB with Sully. Get ready for the Fall Classic, the World Series coming up. Phillies, Dodgers, Yankees, Guardians, Orioles, Braves, Diamondbacks, Brewers. Who's going to win this year? Mariners, maybe? Astros? Who? Not the Marlins. Sully has you covered every single day. You can find the link to Locked On MLB in the description, so you don't need to search. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single day. And today is the greatest. What did the Marlins do right today? Anything? 3 for 14 with runners in scoring position for the Rockies. The Marlins did that. Criswell pitched 2 scoreless innings, no hits. 2 hits, 1 scoreless inning from Molina for the Rockies. For the Marlins, Max Meyer, 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 6 strikeouts in 5 innings. Getting better. I'm not giving up on you, Max. A lot of homers, though, bro. A lot of homers. Keep that ball down. The ball in the yard. Easy for me to say. And, man, I remember one time I told Todd Helton how to hit live on the radio. True story. I was like, you got under that one a little bit, Todd, didn't you? He's like, thanks for telling me that, man. I had no idea. I don't work in the cage all day, every day or anything like that and study every pitcher for 3 hours a night. But thank you, radio guy, for telling me that. I'm doing the same thing to Max Meyer. Some people never learn. Myself apparently included. So Emmanuel, third of an inning, gave up a run on 2 hits. Not a good night for him. Or Kitchen, 1 2/3. He was in the kitchen. Didn't get a kitchen pass. All right, I'm done. Maybe not. Chef's kitchen. 1 hit, 2 earned runs, whatever. Soriano, an inning and 1 hit. Soriano's been good. 2 strikeouts. So there you have it there. And then, of course, the Rockies just kind of jumped on them tonight. It was 1-1 in the second. The Marlins actually took the lead first in this game tonight. Hill's homer. But then the Rockies took a 2-1 lead in the third. The Marlins tied it in the fourth. Rockies retook it in the fifth. Then 3 runs in the sixth and 2 in the eighth. And that was all she wrote. And why does it have to be she? Why can't it be all he wrote? Why can't it be all they wrote? It's 2024. We're going to change some things around here. The Marlins haven't written anything except history this year. Tomorrow's game, and I'll tell you this in 1 second here, but the Marlins are barking up some historic trees here, and not just one tree. So the Miami Marlins are in last place in the National League, and they're firmly in last place now, in spite of the fact that they're winning the season series easily against the Rockies. They are now 48-85. The Rockies are 50-84. What is the significance of this? That's the worst record in the National League. 48 wins. They don't even have 50 wins. The White Sox don't even have 40. They barely have 30. They have 31 wins. They're 31 and 103. Thank God for the White Sox. But the Marlins are not this bad. It's been done to them by this management, by this organization, by the ownership that they do every single group that owns this team. If you can't afford it, don't own one. Don't be in Miami, the greatest city on earth. Put a team and with an owner that can afford to put a great team on the field, a team that connects with the local fan base. It can be done. It can be done. And it's not the winning that does it, man. It's not just the winning. You had Miguel Cabrera. He could have been a Marlin for life. Don't get me started. 48 wins. The Rockies have 50. 2 games down in the win column and 1 game in the loss column. So 1.5 games. The Rockies lead the Marlins by 1.5 games for last place in the National League. And the White Sox just stink, thank God. All right, tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, you're only a day away. It's just a day away. And this is going to be, you know what? I mean, look, Beozo's been their best pitcher. So tomorrow is looking pretty decent for the Marlins. It's a 3-10 start, right? Beozo against Bradley Blaylock is the matchup. Beozo 2-2 with a 3.35. Blaylock 1-0 with a 3.06. And there's your matchup right there. The over-under is 11.5. It's minus 105 on the over and minus 115 on the under. Plus 105 on Miami, minus 125 on the Rockies under the Evergreens. And Blaylock 1-0 with 3.06. 11 strikeouts in 17 innings, which means he'll probably strike out 14 Marlins tomorrow. But Beozo's been really good. 2-2 with a 3.35, a 1.25 whip. His last few starts, he has been lights out, and he's making his 8th career start. It's always dangerous in Colorado. I'm not going the over with Beozo on the mound. I'm not doing it. Blaylock's been good too. I'm going Miami and the under. They finish off the series split, and they will end up winning the regular season series 5-2 with a win tomorrow. 5-2. They cut that deficit to a half game, and they put the Rockies eventually in the basement where they belong, because the only thing high in the Rockies are the mountains and the people. That's all there is, Fish fans. There is no more. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Your Locked On Marlins postcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day, 8-2, the victory for Colorado. Don't forget, make Locked On MLB with Sully your second listen every day. And we got Locked On Canes this Saturday with the postcast. We got Locked On Dolphins postcast starting next week. Big things going on here with the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Until tomorrow, Fish fans, keep your game tight and your mind right. I'm out.